Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and we are in the 3.5 Monster Manual, and today we are on Animals, Chapter 2, Animals. And we're going to pick one, and I've chosen Ape because it's the first one, and I grabbed one out of my toy animal box quickly. So we're going to do an Ape. And there's no reference art for the animals, by the way. It just kind of goes through some generic stats. A lot of repetitious things like warhorse, pony, war pony, mule, donkey, stuff that has very similar stats. But raven, owl, very similar stats. Just, kind of that kind of deal. But as you go through here, it's just animals is all it is. And if you have miniatures for any of these animals or plastic toys of any of these animals that you can make work, you're set. You don't have to make anything. And that's a lot of And then we also have Chapter 3, Vermin, next, and then we'll be done with the Monster Manual, from what I can tell. Let's see, is there a Chapter 4? Improving monsters, making custom monsters, and I don't follow any of these rules. So let's do the Ape. I have him base coated in black, primed and base coated in black, and now I'm going to get some cardboard. Yeah, I know, cardboard's free, but why, if I can still use it, why replace it? I'm going to get my favorite color in the entire world. My favorite paint color. My favorite color is red, actually. But, pigment. So I'm going to get some pigment. I'm going to get a brush. This is a real soft makeup brush from the Dollar Tree. If you've not watched me before, I use a lot of cheap stuff on purpose. And sometimes I don't use cheap stuff, but most of the time I try to use cheap stuff. Mostly because I know that some of us have the resources to get better stuff and some of us don't. And so I don't want to, put people that can't get certain things out of the realm of crafting what they want to craft. And honestly, if you had the money to buy everything you want, why are you making cheap miniatures? I've been doing it since I was young. I used to have nothing. My wife and I struggled. And we loved D&D, and we created an entire D&D collection by making stuff ourselves. But then as we got older and more established in our careers, now I'm in my 40s and she's in her late 30s, and we've done better, and we're both working. And our older kids are out and on their own, and our younger kids are, our only, big financial sink. Not sink, but you know what I mean, like expense. We've been able to generate a different style of living, and we've gotten, but I still... I've done this for so long, I enjoy it. I'm going to get dark gray blue, or dark blue gray. You can mix them yourself if you don't have this exact color, just by getting a little bit of dark blue and a little bit of that pavement, which everybody should have pavement as your go-to in your toolbox for paints. Now I'm going to get a lot of that paint off there. And I'm not going to go underneath it all on this. I'm just going to do the outside parts with this. And this is going to give us some variation in the undertone. And it's not going to be real brilliant. It's going to be kind of subtle. I'm going to really get his face good, though. Okay. Now I'm going to set this brush off to the side. And we're going to introduce a magic item. I used it yesterday, and I'll use it again today. This is the replacement for the +2 hot air gun of burning, which ran out of charges and burst into flames. This is the +5 hot air gun of burning, and let's hope it has a long, fruitful life like its 40-year-old counterpart did. Let's hope that someday one of you guys or some other crafter or one of my children is using this as their magic item for drying paint. All right, this was a really cheap sculpt, you can tell. I think this was a Dollar Tree one. I'm going to go ahead and get a really subtle mid-tone. Subtle, that's the word of the day, I guess. This is pewter gray. And with this, you can see we have some variation in definition already in the detail. We're going to get this. We're going to get most of that off to where it's not leaving much behind at all. I'm going to come up and down on the face and get it real good. I'm going to touch his shoulders especially. come across his backside. I'm going to leave his arms pretty much alone and just stick to the joints of the wrists and the ankles. Then I'm going to get his back pretty good too. I'm going to lighten that up significantly. Okay. Now we're going to get one more lighter color. And this is called elephant gray. Now if you look at apes, like on Google, they're not all the same. Like gorillas are apes, orangutans are apes. There's like lots of different types of apes, but they gave a generic stat block, so they're getting a generic miniature. Okay, let's get almost all that off. Running out of dry spots on my cardboard here. And then I want to make sure I got a lot of that off. So I'm just going to grab my board here. When you're running out of black spots on your board to see what you're doing, like I am, you just spray paint it black again and dry it off. Okay. Alright. I'm going to hit his face. And this is really light. I'm just gently coming around. And I'm barely using any pressure, and this there's like no paint on this, okay? And I'm just lightening him up, and I'm going to hit his face a little better. And then I'm going to focus on his back some. Alright, now I could make him like a real silverback and get a lighter tone and kind of like work it down to a white along here. Oh, I just used way too much paint there. But I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm into today. Now I'm going to come down here and just touch his hands lightly. And that's how I want my guy to look for the most part. I'm going to throw that brush in some soapy water. And now we have these two little teeny weeny eyes, and we have a mouth. So for the teeny weeny eyes, I'm going to use a metallic black. You can use any black. I think this metallic black might look good though. And just do his little eyes. I'm going to clean that brush out. I do not like the taste of metallics. But my brush is clean. I'm going to get a medium to light red color. This is called red apple. I'm going to dip my brush in there. And I'm going to wipe some of it off. And then I'm just going to lightly touch across his mouth. Like that. Cleaning my brush out with my mouth. I would like to say that during the Monster Manual, and we have one more entry after that, I have used almost this entire thing. I had one of these last me years, and it was empty kind of when I started the Monster Manual, so I did like the first couple with it. And now there's like that much paint in it. And my brown that I use, oops, knocking stuff down. That's what happens when you get old, knock shit over. And my brown that I use, this was almost full when I started, and now it's about, probably about right there. So you will go through some paint making the entire Monster Manual, that's a fact. After we finish the Monster Manual, I'm going to take probably a break for a day and redo my shop. Because in the course of doing this, I work a full-time job. So in the course of doing this and trying to get it done in an hour or two every night so that I have time to spend with my children and wife and stuff, my shop has become like a pigsty. My shop used to be immaculate. It's become just an utter mess. So I'm going to get a little bit of water on my brush so it's damp. And I'm going to get some dark brown paint. This is burnt umber from Walmart. But I got to clean my shop. I can't even find stuff anymore. I've picked parts out and then not put them away properly. And I have like a giant Tupperware thing. And I've just been throwing stuff in there. And you can't sort through that to find what you need in a reasonable amount of time. Okay. Now we played our Christmas campaign, or our regular campaign, but we played our Christmas episode last night of our RPG we play, Tomorrow Comes Doom. And it was awesome. I made a custom fight for it with a weird situation and what lured them in, and they encountered I have a miniature of Krampus that I did years ago, and every year they have kind of flat Krampus in some form. Even no matter what campaign we're in, they keep fighting Krampus, and they've never actually defeated him. Well, this year they thought they were going to fight Krampus, and it turned out that Krampus was in league with an evil mage called the Ornamencer, and I made I had a miniature that I was going to use for the Ornamencer already painted up from something else. But the Ornamencer basically captures people in snow globes and turns them into Christmas tree ornaments and uses them to decorate his lair, which is a room made out of snow and ice blocks with a solid ice slippery floor. And he's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. He doesn't actually present himself. He puts a hologram of himself, or like a magical image of himself. So you're trying to attack him, and it keeps hitting this wall and dissipating. It's like a magic wall with his image on it. And until you get closer, you don't even realize it's not him. So he keeps summoning snow globes and smashing them, and then monsters and ancient heroes and stuff that he's captured over the centuries come out and fight you. And it was a nice fight, and it was fun, and having a custom boss room for it was good. Alright, so we have that color base. So we're going to do a little variation on that base to give it some interest. This is a quick paint job anyways. So I thought, where's my melted chocolate? This is melted chocolate. I thought we'd just give the base a little decor before we call it? Before we flock it. Give that some variation on tone. The way it looks a little more interesting. It won't catch anybody's eye and nail it. The first thing they'll see is, oh, an ape, or whatever, you know. They won't probably be focused as much on that part of the base. But it's a quick craft, you know. So I'm going to drag that around softly and just create a little bit of interest on that ground. And any spots where the super glue and the baking soda made little bumps in the hills or grooves, I'll just catch some of those and show that it's not just a flat, boring base. Okay. Something like that. Not bad. That'll work. All right, let me get that brush cleaned out. And I still have not filled this up. All right, let's see here. A little bit of clear glue. And let's use a toothpick. I have one on my desk here already. There's one right here on the bench. Sweet. We get a little bit of glue. I'm just going to rub that around where I want grass and a jagged little patch. Okay. When you're doing this, you want to make sure you push it down into the cracks and stuff. Sorry, after doing the entire monster manual and doing these techniques over and over and over again on bases, I feel like so weird, like I'm just mechanically saying this stuff. And once we're done with the monster manual, I'll have a lot more fun too, because sometimes I just want to craft other stuff. And my channel was never about the monster manual. It was just about, you know, giving you cheap ways to make your D&D experience better. And it's really turned into the monster manual for the past many months. And I hope, I don't know, I haven't seen any other ones. I've looked. My son has looked. I think that I'm the only person on YouTube that has done the entire monster manual after I finished the vermin. And I will say, I never thought it would become this grueling of a process. This is just some Woodland Scenics moss flock or whatever this is. I've had this for many, many years, and I never ever used it until I started this channel. And then I started using it. Actually, I think I might have used it like the day I got it. And then I was like, oh, this stuff's too expensive. But this was probably about half full when no, it wasn't nearly. No, it's not much more than this. I don't use much. I don't use it very often, but it's a good contrast on that burnt umber. All right. So there we go. I'm going to clear coat this, come upstairs. We'll have a little short about it and how we run an ape. I would never run an ape just like this as an enemy because I love them. I love all of the primates. So I would probably have this be an intelligent creature asking for help. And he's got a whole clan or tribe or pod or whatever they call their flocks, a flock of apes. And he's separated from them, or they're being attacked, or somebody's cutting their trees or something. The party has to come save them. I would never have them just have to kill this poor guy. Or maybe he would join the group as an animal familiar to a ranger or a druid. Who knows? Something like that. But that's what I would do. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'd like to really take the time to say something here. And I've said it before, and I will never mean it enough. I never thought I would get even 50 subscribers. I thought 30 would be like the most people that ever watch my old ass sitting in the garage making junk into minis. And now that we're up over 600 and it just seems to every day keep growing, it's a really big deal, guys. I really, really appreciate it. It's very humbling for me because I didn't think I was all that interesting. I mean, I know that like people that know me in real life, you know, we can talk about stuff, but I didn't think strangers would want to be, you know, watching or being part of this. So it's just a big deal, you guys. There's so much good content out there. There's so many great creators. There's people out there like Dave O'Gara and Craft and Ron, Seawolf's Den, Dan Does, his brother Bill making stuff. There's all these guys that I watch videos of occasionally, and they're so good. Like Dave O'Gara and I actually have spoken several times, and Craft and Ron actually hosted the last Mace, and we at Dungeon Swag we sponsored the miniature painting contest and sent them free minis. But it was phenomenal. We had a great time doing that, by the way. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Also, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification icon, or notification bell icon. There you go. Leave comments and stuff. Go to the website, buy some miniatures. Not these miniatures, real Dungeon Swag minis. I have a demon that I've really been meaning to paint up as a neon yellow demon, but I haven't got to it yet. But these are high quality, high detail, beautiful minis. I want to show you something. This is like a Dwarven mage dude. Look at this. This is 3D printed, guys. We have the best quality resin, and we print stuff on a great 8K printer. We have phenomenal detail. You can see on his clothing there. My paint job does no justice, by the way. I'm not an excellent painter, but these are just really good minis, and they're inexpensive. We are trying to compete with the big corporations and give everybody a chance to get miniatures they can afford at their house. So we have a monthly box that's cheap. You get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on how much resin we have to use, minis in it, and they're all really good minis. They're all high detailed like this. I think there were 5 in this box of demons, and they're all kind of different sizes. One was a little bigger, but we're trying to make congruous units that you open up every month so you can populate your table with orcs and goblins and gnolls and bugbears and whatever, hobgoblins, goblins, you know, maybe heroes here and there, some dwarves, some elves. You know, we're trying to populate your collection for an inexpensive price. So please give us a chance to check it out. Also, there's a link in the description to our Discord. Come to our Discord server and show us what you're crafting. Show us what you're making. We got people in there making weapons. We got people in there making terrain, miniatures, crocheting, needle pointing, felting. We want to see drawing. Oh my gosh, we have an artist on there. She's phenomenal. She's been sharing a lot of art. We'd like to see what you're doing. We're interested in art in general. I am especially. Like, I've always loved art as like a pastime. I know I'm a chemist, but like one of my big, like, I've always kind of like dreamed secretly of being some kind of artist, and it's just I'm really good at math. So yeah, there's only so many careers for people that are good at math. I'm okay at crafting and art, but I'm good at math. So, but yeah, I'd love to see you guys come on there and check out what you're working on and tell us what you think of the stuff we're doing. So it's about that time. We'll call it a win. So there's my ape made from a Dollar Tree monkey, or ape. Not monkey. This just came in a multi-pack of animals, and I threw it in a shoebox, and I've had it for a year or two, maybe longer. And you probably have stuff like that laying around too if you're watching. So we'll see you next time on the Vermin, and we'll finish up the monster manual, and we'll start on a whole new journey and see what's next. So thank you so much. Bye.